everyone. Long time no see. I love that you're hanging out with us once again. And I say us because I'm bringing him in right now. Kevincho on the channel with us as well. We have something to talk about, though. Harry Kane, captain of the Three Lions, has come out and stated that England comes before anything. England comes before club. And this is after he expressed his disappointment that 8 of his teammates on the Three Lions have stated they're just gonna go home. They're gonna take their ball and they're gonna go home. They're nursing some injuries. They want to be thoughtful about their club season. 8 players dropping off the roster. That is significant. So where are you on this? And for everybody else watching, where are you on this? Hit us up in the chat. Hit like and subscribe. You guys know all that good stuff. Club before country, country before club.
I feel like I'm in the minority here, but I'm with
Are
Harry
you?
Kane.
Are you though?
I think so, because here's the thing. I think as long as I could remember, I'm always watching club ball for Argentinian players around the world because I want them to be at the best level to go back to Argentina or wherever and play for the national team. If you are, you know, an up-and-coming player, you want to play for the national team. You had that feeling. It is like the biggest honor. So I can't fathom. I know there's a lot of things that we can get into. I cannot fathom going, you know what? I don't really want to play for England this window. I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Who wants to go to Athens and play Greece? That game's going to be tough.
What?
And then who wants to go play at Wembley, the famous Wembley Stadium, and take on the Republic of Ireland?
Boring.
So here are the 8 players that dropped out. Arsenal have 2 players, Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice. Declan Rice is Irish, but he made the one-time switch. Lots to unpack there. He probably just doesn't want to play against Ireland in particular.
Traitor. He's a traitor.
Man City's Jack Grealish, another player that could have played for Ireland, elected to play for England instead. Phil Foden for Man City, also out. Cole Palmer and Levi Colwill out from Chelsea. Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool, and Southampton's Aaron Ramsdale, comprised of the 8 players who pulled out of this roster. Now, Pep Guardiola came out and said recently he didn't understand why Jack Grealish was in when he wasn't fit enough to play for City, and that makes a lot of sense. Before I get into where I stand, I do want to give let's give the other side, right? Country we get. I mean, representing your country is the best. Yeah. And it is, I agree with Harry Kane, it's what you work for, it's why you play. However, just to play devil's advocate, Kevincho, the clubs pay your salary.
It's true.
You're very important to their success when you're healthy, not when you're hurt. And if you're going to go into a national team camp and you're 60, 75%, that's not something that's going to make them that happy. For me as a player, anytime I got called into the national team, I'm in, I'm gone. Doesn't matter where I am, emotionally, physically, doesn't matter. I'm going. Like, you just don't turn down a call into the national team. You just can't do it. So I understand where Harry Kane's coming from. However, that has to be taken into consideration, especially when we're hitting that part of the schedule where the games come fast and furious, especially for the players that play in England.
I think there's a big divide with like old heads and new heads. I think younger players are realizing, hey, I'm playing more games than we've ever played before. There's so many tournaments. Just like you said, I need to do well at my club at the top level. But then you have coaches and older players that are coming out and saying, you better want to be here more than anything. Pochettino just said he wants his American players to think like they're Argentinian. They want to be here no matter what. I don't think things are meshing well. So imagine Christian Pulisic, he's not going to not show up, I don't think. But let's say...
Well, he did go home, though.
He did go home.
Ahead of the Mexico game. And this was because of load management. So it's very similar.
Yeah.
But Mauricio Pochettino made that call. It felt like the coach made the call. Now, Lee Carsley is still the interim caretaker manager right now for England until Thomas Tuchel comes in. But Thomas Tuchel has probably got his fingerprints on the roster and definitely having dialogue with these players.
For sure. So
maybe Tuchel did make the call. It's in everybody's best interest to have a very healthy relationship and good communication between your national team and the club.
The U.S. has no games. Europe, they got 1 billion games. They have a bunch of like Nations League, international qualifiers, all that stuff. When the U.S. doesn't, so I see it differently for the U.S. I guess that was a bad example, but in Europe, I don't know. Harry Kane might need to chill out just a little bit, just because you're right. I mean, there's just way more games. You're more worried about just getting injured.
Well, friendlies don't seem to exist anymore. Once they brought up the Nations League, friendlies got eliminated, I think to the detriment of a lot of national teams, because you could, if this window was more about getting some friendlies in, then you have a chance to potentially blood some new younger players, give them a chance without the pressure of an official match or whatever it is. You could give some older guys some rest, which England clearly needs. They got 8 guys that pulled out of this for some reason. And I also heard from this side of the world of scheduling friendlies against bigger nations. Right now, we have to schedule Panama. We have to play Mexico for the 100th time to get a game in during these international windows. Now, we have our own CONCACAF Nations League. We got Jamaica coming up over the next week, and so that's nice that it means something. But it would be nice to get friendlies against some big European nations. I want to finish with this. England's Harry Kane did say England is the most important thing you can play as a professional footballer, and Gareth Southgate was hot on that. And he wasn't afraid to make decisions if that started to drift from certain players. Now, in fairness to the media pushed him on what does that mean, drifting? Was there any drifting from the 8 withdrawals? And Kane replied, it's a shame this week, obviously. I think it's a tough period of the season, and maybe there's been a taking advantage of that a little bit. I don't really like it if I'm being honest. I think, like I just said, England comes before anything, any club situation. But if a guy's hurt...
Right. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. When I think about my career highlights as a player myself, my first 5 things are around the national team and playing for my country. That's no disrespect to my club accomplishments. I won a few trophies at the club level. I have a lot of individual accolades that I'm proud of. But playing for your national team in big competitions and winning things for your country and representing your country, wearing the captain's armband for your country, and it's just another level. I would lean towards country over club, but I do think there's a big conversation to be had, especially in the middle of a grueling season, where club could and should maybe take precedent over a particular slate of games for a country. So that's where I am on that. Where are you? You're ultimately you're with Argentina over River Plate. Is that I'm picking that?
Always.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Always. And
that's
even,
with complete certainty.
I mean, and I will say too, like as soon as I think it's different in a lot of countries, but as soon as those players leave, because usually you're young, you play there, and then you go, for the most part. Then it's just like they're never gonna play for River Plate again until they're like in their late 30s. So then you're just focusing on. I don't care if they play in Roma. I don't give a shit about Roma. I want you to be top at Roma.
Time out. If Argentina had won back-to-back Copa Americas and a World Cup, if we had gone back to the frustrating time of being an Argentinian national team fan, would you have still gone country over club?
Always.
Always.
I have cried.
I love the certainty of it. I love it.
In 2 Copa Americas back to back, I cried in a World Cup final like a baby. Like a baby. Okay? I thought my life would be over. Okay? Until that 2021 Copa America. So I'm telling you, it doesn't go away. Even now that we won it, and they might never win it again in my life, but now I'm still like, how are these players doing?
Okay, I said I was going to finish with the last thing I said. I'm going to finish with this instead. What's cool about your country is that when you represent your country, everybody's got your back. When you play for your club, it's only a certain section of the population that has your back. And so that's what makes it even more special to represent your country, and that's why it should matter more. And ultimately, I agree with Harry Kane. But there has to be some things in place where you're like, all right, I mean, they're hurt. And in the middle of something, we got to be thoughtful about everything. All right, that's it from us. What do you guys think in the chat, the best community on the YouTubes? Hit us up right now, down below in the comments. Hit like and subscribe, of course. And we'll see you next time. Later.